Formula E at that point now, amazingly, that is 7 years ago that Formula E first started. It still feels like it was around the corner, or that it was just in the most recent past. Tell me about that experience. What was Formula E like, and maybe how did it shape your view of racing and being a team principal?
Well, many people kind of ask me, well, why did you think you had the capabilities of being a team principal? But I studied international business at university before leaving to concentrate on my racing. And I obviously had the huge advantage that I watched my husband, and I had a front row seat watching him, by that time, lead Mercedes to several world championships. And I think my love of racing and the ability to combine it with the business side. And Gilles Pastor was someone that I knew I could work really well with. He really gave me the keys to the shop and said, listen, do what you think's right. And I'm here in the background if you need me. And I took equity in the team, so I had skin in the game. And he was losing a lot of money. We were last on the grid. And that was a few months of definitely thinking, what have I got myself into here? I had a pile of contracts that weren't right that I had to try and rectify. We didn't have the performance in the team, but those were tough days, but days where I just learned so much. I surrounded myself with great people I'd met over my time in racing, from my new legal counsel to a new technical director. And suddenly 1 year later, we won a race. We had a new title sponsor. And then 3 years later, we were fighting for the world championship. And that was definitely very, very tough years, but very, very good years for my learning in the business world later on.
And you only finished 7 points behind Nick de Vries in the championship of the 21 season. Is that right?
Yeah, and imagine this. So we were Venturi, but we had this supply of the Mercedes-Benz powertrain, and we were fighting Mercedes-Benz. So it was husband against wife for the Formula E World Championship. But I just want to add in that I was running on a fraction of the budget that was so we had a huge efficiency drive on top of trying to beat them. But I think it really showed that with energy, and despite the fact we were a small monogas-based team, we took on the might of the big manufacturers because we had the right people, we had a great energy, and we were fighters, and we had two great drivers, and yeah, we nearly pulled off.
Does Formula E have a solid opportunity to gain a foothold in the psyche of racing fans?
It was really interesting because at the time when I was in Formula E, there was a lot of media noise around the fact that it could actually rock the establishment and be a challenge to Formula One. And at the time, there was so much momentum behind Formula E, and then suddenly COVID hit, and we couldn't go racing anymore because the whole philosophy in Formula E was racing in city centres. Formula One got racing much quicker because they managed to create bubbles. And suddenly this show called Drive to Survive appeared, and Formula One's popularity just skyrocketed. And I had anyway at the time, Gildo had decided to kind of do a new space venture, so wanted to sell the team. And without even realizing at the time that Formula E was maybe not going to carry on with such a big progression, we had sold the team. And I think now Formula E still has a very solid footing. But I don't think anyone anticipated that Formula One would grow as big as it has in the last 5 years.